So, I was going to do a tier list of every character in Brawlhalla. Then I figured out there are 53 different characters. I can't even count that high. So instead, I thought that I will do much more manageable 12 weapons in Brawlhalla. In my experiment, I played 3 experimental 1v1 matches with each weapon with no change to the character's stats. This is equivalent to about 10 minutes of playtime on each weapon, but with some of the characters, I played 2 weapons in the 3 matches. So I played as follows: Bodvar's sword, Bodvar's hammer, Orion's spear, Orion's lance, Mako's greatsword, Mako's guitars, Thatch's pistols, Vector's bow, Bryn's axe, Linfei's cannon, Mordex's scythe, Petra's gauntlet, Petra's orb. I chose these characters pretty much just because they're the ones I had available. If you think I should have used different characters, you're probably right. Our first weapon, Axe. I used Bryn's axe for these matches because she's the axe character I've had the most experience playing. My first match didn't go great. I got absolutely thrashed by a Black Knight. Ended with me losing, but I got him on his last stock. That's only because he killed himself twice, but it still counts. I feel like the axe has great damage potential. I've seen great combos from other players, but for me, it feels too slow and clunky. When I'm using it, I just feel like I'm swinging a microwave on the end of a broom handle. The attacks are so slow, and I'll just get punished whenever I use it. I ended the axe matches with 3 losses and only 4 KOs. So for me, I think axe is going to go in C tier. Second weapon, ball. I used Petra's ball for the matches just because she was the character I had available. Ball felt a little clunky at first, but it was so much faster than the axe and it felt so much better. It can be a fast weapon with lots of combos. I feel like there's high damage potential with a smallish gap for getting punished. And with ball, the range you hit is really big, and I feel like that makes ball a lot easier to use than a lot of other weapons. I ended with 1 win and only 3 KOs, but I only got 3 KOs because the last match, the guy went AFK. The first 2 matches, I went up against like diamond players and got destroyed. So yeah. This weapon will also go in C tier. It's just above axe. I just prefer using other weapons. Third weapon, greatsword. I use Mako's greatsword because I like its down sig. Its range is humongous. It's just easy to use. It's a really strong weapon with pretty big range. I got 2 wins, but only 3 KOs. It's kinda slow, it's still pretty easy to use, but when I'm using it, I'm just not having a lot of fun. So it's gonna go in C tier as well. One of my favorite weapons, pistols. I've used Thatch's pistols for this for one reason: down sig balls. Thatch's down sig is my favorite move in this entire game. Is that enough to put it in A tier? Yes. Yes, it is enough. But in reality, pistols are fast and strong and can feel really rewarding when you use them right. It deserves A tier. My first ever main weapon, the bow. I used Vector for the bow because to use my first main in this game, and I kind of know how to use his bow kind of well still. Bow feels amazing after picking it up after taking a break for a little while. It's strong, simple, has good combos, and if you use it right, you can do a lot of damage, and I think it's an A tier weapon. Next weapon, one of my least played ones, Cannon. And it's super powerful, has huge potential for strings, but in my opinion, it's so slow and hard for me to use. I was using Linfei's cannon, which might have been why I didn't like it, because her side sig I despise. You jump over anything in like a 3-mile radius in front of you and just hit the air on the other side of the map. I just found that I was using down sig way more because it was closer range, but you didn't jump across 3 continents. Besides that, I know that cannon can have a huge presence in playing against other people. You can just push people off the stage and then just string them out of existence. Because of that, I know it's good. Maybe it's just because I was using Linfei's, but I'm gonna put it in B. 7th weapon, Gauntlets. I don't think I chose the right character for Gauntlets, because, I don't know, they just didn't feel right. But I used Petra's Gauntlets because she was available and I could just double with the orb. So that's what I did. I had approximately no idea what I was doing with them, and I felt that I was attacking so slow and just missing all of my attacks. And the only times that I did hit, they did do damage, like good damage, and if I strung a few hits together, I could get a kill or two. I would say just on the fact that they do good damage, it gets a B. One of my new favorite weapons, Hammer. I have to put Hammer in B, which is hard for me. I love Hammer. It's super fun, does a lot of damage. It's not the fastest, but it's not slow as a slug like some other weapons. The only thing that keeps out of A or maybe S for me is because the ranging on its side sig and some of its other moves are just atrocious for me. It's a side sig, it does a hop, and you can jump across 3 continents like Linfei's cannon. It's just not easy to hit all of your attacks. The stomp range is it's not horribly small, but it's small enough where I'm always scared that I'm gonna get like hit into a string and then just die. So I'm always scared to stomp into a combo, which is like the start of every combo with the hammer. So yeah, it's gonna have to be a B. Now guitars, I don't have a lot of experience with guitars, but I'm pretty sure they're the fastest weapons in the game. They have high potential for strings and combos. They're really fast. I have been personally torn to shreds by good guitar players. I chose Mako's guitars because he was available, and I have a soft spot for down sigs that cover to both sides of your character, and Mako's down sig is a Beyblade, so why wouldn't you use Mako? Now, despite my love for that kind of down sig and how I know that guitars can be good, I'm gonna have to knock them down to B because they do so little damage if you don't use them right. Another one of my favorite weapons to play, Lance. Lance allows for big damage, big aerial movement, big combos, and big fun. Lance is so easy to pick up and just side sig enemies into oblivion if you do not know what you're doing. But if you're willing to put in the time and learn, you can learn strings and combos to just pummel them off of the stage. Overall, a great weapon, great ground pound. You can just keep hitting them down, and they'll never know how to get back up if you just hit your ground pounds. I'm gonna have to put this in high A tier, not quite S. It's not as good as the S tiers. On to the last 3, the next one is Scythe. I've hated Scythe the whole time I played this game, until I started playing these 3 matches with it. I was playing Mordex, I don't know what it was, but it was so fun. When you hit that down sig with Mordex, and just yeet them in the other direction, it's just so pleasing if you throw them right off the stage. And his side sig does so much damage, it's just so great to play. Honestly, this weapon is so fun, it's an easy S for me. My current main weapon, Spear. I love Spear. It's fast, effective, easy, simple. There's so many easy combos and strings. Has a really good ground pound, covers the entire stage. I used Orion because he's my main at the moment, and his spear is one of, if not my favorite weapon right now. The down sig is just so fun to slide right off the edge and slide down as someone's trying to get back on, and then spin like a top and knock them into next week. Spear is so simple and easy, I would recommend it for anyone to use, especially beginners. It's another S tier for me. The last weapon, sword. I feel like sword is a common first weapon for new players, but I've never used it. But from the 3 matches with Brawlhalla, I feel like it's relatively simple. It's fast, can deal good damage, and it has 3 up airs, which is really good, and I've seen it used to knock people into the stratosphere if you string enough hits together with up air and whatever move you use to hit them into the air to begin with. But because of my lack of experience, and I just prefer some of the other weapons over it, I'm gonna have to put it in B tier. Finally, my tier list. Surprise! There's one more weapon. This is my absolute least favorite weapon to use the entire game. I would rather use a garbage can. Kaeya's bow. This deserves Z tier. There is one simple, reliable bow combo that almost every legend can use. Watch this. You can use this combo to kill when they're at relatively high damage, but they don't have to be in black, basically. But Kaeya cannot do this combo, and she just slides right under whoever you're trying to hit, and they can ground pound and send you into last week. Let me show you. Vector, easy, send him straight up into the air. Azoth, simple, does so much damage, sends him up at a 45-degree angle. Diana, a little bit harder because it sends them down, so you have to do it next to the edge of the stage, but it still works. Ember, same as Azoth, a little bit less damage, but it sends them at 45-degree angle. But Kaeya's is just so bad. You slide right underneath them. Why couldn't have they just made it at least similar to other bow legends, so you could at least hit it? I know, it's just because I'm stubborn and don't want to learn the better bow combo that can string into more moves, but just for me, she goes in F tier. Even if her spear's good, I hate her. She's bad. Finally, my tier list is over. What do you guys think? I know my opinion will change over time, so I will have to update this in the future, but this is how it stands of now.